MSNBC host Stephanie Ruhle is a horrible person. She's a Wall Street person. She worked Wall Street extraordinaire. She worked in Wall Street. It literally it doesn't get any better than that. Okay, for her. She has Bernie Sanders on, and she plays this stupid game with him, trying to blame him for Washington, D.C. being so corrupt. So take a look at this interview. It's about a 1 minute clip, a little over that. And I just want you to see how stupid she really is.
You know, Stephanie, I always get a kick. Here in Washington, when we go to war, there's endless amounts of money. Tax breaks for billionaires, endless amounts of money. Corporate welfare, endless amounts of money. When children are going hungry in America today, suddenly we don't have enough money. That's crap. That's wrong. And if we have got to stay here throughout Christmas, which is the last thing in the world that I would want to do, we are going to stay here because we are going to make sure that struggling working families in this country get the help they desperately need.
Senator, I'm not agreeing with you fundamentally, but I want to talk to you practically. You've been the lead sponsor of 422 bills during your 30 years in Congress, but only 7 of them have become law. Given that record and how dire things are, as you just laid out, do you need to find another lane or take a different approach here?
I don't think that's the issue, Stephanie. I mean, you can ask me how many other senators have passed significant legislation in recent years. Question is, you could name post offices and so forth and so on. Some of the legislation that I've worked on, the Veterans Bill, for example, has been very significant in passing. But the issue right now is the United States Congress going to stand up for working people or not?
So there you go. How much stupider could it be? Oh, Bernie, you only have 422 bills. Bernie, you have 422 bills that you've been the lead sponsor on, but about only 7 of them. Only 7 of them have become law. You know who also has that record? You know who else has only 7 bills that have ever become law? Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi has been in Washington longer than Bernie Sanders has, for decades and decades and decades. Like, she literally has the same amount of bills. But you don't see them asking that question. You never see them preparing a graphic where all they're doing is, oh, let me trash Bernie Sanders and say, oh, you've only passed 7. Like, you cannot imagine them asking Nancy Pelosi that question. You just cannot. And they leave out the part, well, she leaves out the part especially, and they all do, that Bernie Sanders was literally dubbed the Amendment King. Not the lead sponsor. Like, oh my God, he's not the lead sponsor. Yeah, not the lead sponsor. I don't give a damn if you're the lead sponsor or not. Bernie Sanders had so many amendments that between 1995 and 2007, he literally put so many amendments. It was over 1,600 amendments that got put into laws that were provisions to make them better. So even though he wasn't the lead sponsor of the laws, he got amendments in there that made the bills ever more better because of him. Now, am I mad at Bernie because instead of offering a $2,000 check for the rest of the freaking pandemic, he's only offering a one-time $1,200 check and trying to say that that's good enough? Yeah, I'm freaking pissed at him. Because it's like Bernie Sanders is not coming up with any more solutions. But in this case, if you're talking about Bernie Sanders' past, oh, Bernie, you only 7 bills. Only 7 bills. Only 7 bills, Bernie. You know what she's doing here? She's blaming Bernie Sanders because Washington, D.C. is so corrupt and his colleagues are pieces of trash. Because they are all corrupt. They take money from the corporate donors like her. They take money from the corporate donors who fund her salary of over $500,000 a year. She has what, $5 million or more in net worth? Probably a lot more. And so you're blaming Bernie for him not being corrupt enough, him not being like Washington, D.C. And you're saying, Bernie, you didn't get anything done. Well, let me show you a different perspective. This is a former Republican congressman. He was on the Financial Services Committee with Bernie Sanders for 11 years. 11 years with Bernie. And so he's now a Democrat. And let me show you exactly who Bernie Sanders is. And he's going to tell us.
So let's talk about Bernie Sanders. You served with him in the Financial Services Committee in the House.
Yes, Financial Services.
So what's your impression of Senator Sanders?
He's amazing. He would come into our office, but he would come down the hallway or in our office, a big thing under his arm. He'd be like, "Oh, Bernie's read everything again." Real quick story. He came in my office and he had an amazing idea for cost of living increase to help seniors instead of the ridiculous way we do it. And he went all through, and I said, "Bernie," I said, that's amazing. I'm on the bill. He said, No. This isn't about pride of authorship." I remember his words. "No, I want to pass this. You take the bill." That's Bernie Sanders. The Bernie Sanders I knew for 11 years, and the Bernie Sanders Larry Sanders, his brother, knows, and the Bernie Sanders you see here today, he's the real deal. Philosophically, do I agree with a lot of things with Bernie Sanders? Some I do, some I don't. I did press conferences of trade bills with him. I love his trade position because trade bills are ruining American workers' lives. But beyond that, even if I don't agree with him, working with the guy was amazing. He got more done than he's been given credit for. He wasn't, like I said, the pride of authorship guy. He was honest. You knew what he said is what you could take to the bank. I can't say enough about the personal integrity and the zest and the tenacity for working people that Bernie Sanders had and has and will have.
So there you go. Bernie Sanders is not the guy who has to have his name on a bill, because Washington is so corrupt that if Bernie Sanders is the lead sponsor, they're going to be like, "I don't want to pass Bernie Sanders' bill. Why Bernie?" So Bernie Sanders has trade policies. Bernie Sanders has policies to improve the lives of seniors, and change the system of how we did it at the time. He wants to do that so badly that he would give it to a Republican and say, "Here, I just want it passed. I don't give a damn about being the lead sponsor. I don't give a damn about even being a co-sponsor, but I'll co-sponsor it. But I don't give a crap about that. All I care about is helping the American people. I don't want seniors to die. I don't want them to decide between their mortgage and their medicine." Like, how can you not get think like, man, that's quite a hero right there. Now, right now he's not being a hero, right? But like, you want to say he's got nothing done? Well, how about this? Look, I don't agree with Bernie. I think he should go for $2,000 for multiple months, and I think he could do it. But let's just put it this way. Bernie has gotten a crap load done. Bernie Sanders worked with Mike Lee, another Republican senator who's a libertarian, who hates war, so that we could stop the genocide in Yemen that we're funding. And then Ro Khanna worked on it in the House. It passed the House. It passed the Senate. It went to Donald Trump's desk, and he vetoed it. Is that Bernie's fault? No, it's not Bernie's fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. But you never mentioned that. No. You never mentioned the Amendment King thing, that he passed over 1,600 amendments. No, you don't mention that. How about the fact that Bernie helped advocate for a law that would, I think it was in 2006 or something, where he helped make it so that credit card companies wouldn't charge you exorbitant and outlandish interest rate fees, even though you paid your card on time. Bernie Sanders made that possible, and also made credit scores free, because back then you had to pay for it. Bernie Sanders also helped pass the National Housing Trust Fund, which now provides funds to create housing for low-income people. I'm like, so Bernie Sanders, after introducing the Stop Bezos Act, like, what, 3 months after, Jeff Bezos, basically that act challenged Bezos from Amazon to pay his workers $15 an hour. And you know what happened? 315,000 people got their wages raised to $15 an hour. That was Bernie Sanders. That was Bernie. When Disney was paying their workers less than minimum wage, which they still are in many places, Bernie slammed Disney for paying them low wages. And after that, Disney started paying over 60,000 of its workers a living wage. Tell me who else was there. Nobody but Bernie. Bernie was the one standing there. Bernie passed an amendment, again, one of the other amendments, which made him the Amendment King, which stopped cuts to Social Security for veterans and people with disabilities. I mean, there's so much that man did. I haven't even named more than half of his accomplishments. And Warren Gunnels, his former advisor, and he's actually worked with him for decades, worked for him for decades as well. He posted this in the tweet as well. And I will post that in the description, the Twitter thread, and you can expand it. You can go into the thread and check the accomplishments that he did. Bernie Sanders, I mean, look, he's done incredible things. A lot of things. He stood up for gays, Christians and conservatives. I'm sorry. Oops. Ooh, now you're angry. Yum. Delicious. I'm not even halfway done listing all the accomplishments that man has accomplished. Now, she tries to also go into the whole, hey, Bernie, your bill didn't pass. Doesn't that mean that it's so unpopular that you're so bad at this because you've only passed 7 bills? And your idea, if you only have Josh Hawley, well, isn't it just that it's not popular and you should just get out? You should do something else? What is she talking about? What she's talking about is, hey, Bernie, only you and Josh Hawley are supporting this. So how about you become more corrupt, because you're not corrupt enough. Maybe you should stop advocating for even a $1,200 check, let alone $2,000 a month, which he's not doing. But stop advocating for that. Become more swampy. And so instead of holding the powerful accountable, she's grilling Bernie Sanders for trying to hold the powerful accountable. Now, I don't think he's doing that very much. I don't think he's really doing oh my God, I want to hold you accountable for sure. But I mean the question she should be asking is to Pelosi and Schumer and Feinstein, all the rest of them. Hey, we've got a deadly pandemic. 28 million people are possibly going to go homeless. We've got over 40 million people unemployed. Over 20 million people have lost their health insurance. Why are you not for a stimulus check in this dire pandemic? Are you crazy? How crazy can you be to want to fund your donors but not your constituents? That's what she should be asking. That's what she should be asking. But no, she's not. Why is she not asking it? Because she's trying to protect the establishment. That's what she's trying to do. And she's trying to make it seem like, well, if you and Josh Hawley obviously can't get any more people to agree to this $1,200, maybe you shouldn't work together. As if there's this thing where lefties can't work together with anybody, with the right wing. No, you can work with libertarians to end wars, because we shouldn't even be in wars. Like he said, oh, we have money for tax breaks for the rich, we got money for war, but anytime we need to feed the hungry in the country, oh, we don't have any money. So, okay, and you can also work with populists on the right, like Josh Hawley, and say, well, we want to create stimulus checks. You can work on economics and you can work on ending wars, but you gotta have an ideology. And that's what Stephanie Ruhle is going after. She's playing stupid with Bernie Sanders because she knows Bernie Sanders is actually trying to help people, not by much at all, not a lot by any means, but he's trying to do even a little something. And she's like, can you please keep the establishment intact? Because I don't want to have to use my tax dollars to pay $1,200 for every individual in this country. You stupid ass little... You stupid ass... I'm trying to find the language here. You stupid ass little prick. That's the best way I can put it without saying other words. And, others getting mad at me. Get another job, Stephanie Ruhle. You're just a piece of shit. And this is just exactly why people hate the establishment. This is exactly why, this is what makes people hate the Congress, because, they have an approval rating of 13% and over 53% a disapproval rating, and 16% say they don't know what they think of Congress. You want to know why they have such a low approval rating? Because people like you, Stephanie Ruhle, jackasses and dumbasses and stupid asses like Stephanie Ruhle promote the Congress not doing anything, even in the middle of a freaking pandemic.